Oh.
Here's to the greatest, greatest love I've ever known. I'm burning up in your love, your love. Burning up in your love, your love. Burning up in your love, your love. Burning up inside your love. Keep me warm like a robe and fire. Touch the flame just to know what it feels like. 'Cause when they ask me if the fire's gonna eat us alive, I tell them I think we'll be just fine. Here's to the greatest, greatest love I've ever known. I'm burning up in your love, your love. Burning up in your love, your love. Burning up in your love, your love. Burning up inside your love. I'm not going to do the next verse. It's the same.
Welcome, everyone. Wednesday night shooting. I am Tonya Rodgers. The man you just heard burning up in your love is Andrew M. Swift. Yay!
I kind of feel like now that I've set the precedent, I have to open every week with a new song. I feel like that's gonna have to be a thing. Maybe, I don't know.
Could you do Sasha's next?
Oh boy! I'll put the camera on for that, and I'll be like decked out in the full regalia. It'll be too much. It'll be extra. I should probably put on my headset now.
So, this week, I've broken my habit of having Roman as my avatar for a very special reason. Oh, let's just go and get into it. Shall we? This Sunday was the Money in the Bank pay-per-view, and history was made because the first ever women's Money in the Bank occurred, and for the first time in any Money in the Bank, a non-participant was the first person to climb up the ladder and unhook the briefcase. And that person was James Ellsworth. He gave the case to Carmela. She was a participant, so that meant apparently that she became Miss Money in the Bank. Yes. Well, I'm not gonna say whoever. Vince McMahon is my fuckamoo of the week. Because I felt personally insulted as a woman, as a female wrestling fan. Men just don't know how good they have it, and that's all I was thinking. And over these past few days, I've not seen one woman argue. There may have been some women out there that argued that, but go get a sex change. I don't want you part of the womanhood. Seriously. But I see all these men making all these big long arguments, but you just don't know how good you have it. In life in general, it is taken for granted. And sometimes it just feels like women are constantly in the WWE marginalized and trivialized and shown over and over that they are not as equal to the men. Now, some people will say, well, they made this big angle for ratings and yada yada. This is to me akin to, like, people are legitimately more upset about Roman Reigns being number 30 in the Royal Rumble than they were about a man winning the first ever women's Money in the Bank. And let's not mince words. A man won the match. I was like, I just keep going back to what I thought. Like, I've never watched the WWE for Vince and his booking. I've always watched it for the talent. And I don't want to deprive myself of some very talented people because the owner is a fuckwad, sexist piece of shit. And, like, he has his money. He's rich. He's not going to lose his money. I'm only punishing myself and punishing the talent by, oh, let me boycott and let me do. Like, I ran through so many emotions, but the first one I truly had was, I just wanted to cry. I was just so upset. Like, the match is the shortest Money in the Bank in history. They didn't let them take any type of big bumps off the ladder. But those women, for what they were allowed to do, which was just ladder spots, hit each other with the ladder, I thought they did very well. I could have seen at least 10 more minutes of the match. I was very much into it. As a standalone booking decision, it really doesn't bother me on that level. If this was a hot angle, that really wouldn't have bothered me. You couple that with the history of how women are traditionally treated in this company, put it with all the bullshit PR that they've made, and they've turned one of my favorite wrestling characters ever in Sasha Banks into a caricature of herself, and she's just want to make history. And, like, that wasn't the fucking boss. When she came to the main roster, that's how she became. Just like this representative of women's wrestling. And then you don't ever let her get the comeuppance that she deserves. Then you take another, like just a few weeks ago in Bayley, you take Bayley and then bury the shit out of her. You take Lana, who, whatever, and you put her in women's championship matches. And then you take James Ellsworth, who is a rib. If people don't get by now that James Ellsworth employment in this company is not a rib for Vince McMahon to laugh at, I don't know what else you take it as, because that's exactly what it is. You take a rib and make him pretty much the focal point, the center of a women's angle, when they weren't really doing jack squat before that. The champion was barely defending her title. They put them all in groups again for no reason. And then once you have them fight for something, you put a man smack dab into it. And then, apparently, because I read about it, I did not watch SmackDown, then you also don't let the woman get comeuppance on the other woman who did this terrible thing. You have the system, which is run by men, get comeuppance on the woman again. It's just like, I don't have any faith in the main roster women anymore. And I don't know. It's probably going to take Vince McMahon no longer being the booker for me to have faith again. I'll enjoy things here and there, but I will never, ever, 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 ever get my hopes up again. I think I feel foolish and silly for thinking that anything was going to change when he was still in power. It's just ridiculous. And to the people, well, to the men who are arguing for this, stop, please. Not everything is about you. I know it's hard to realize that, but not every fucking thing is about you. Like, let women have something. Don't go to Twitter and fucking try to explain wrestling to us. We fucking know how it works. We have a brain. It operates just like yours. There's a fine line between something that gives you heat, where you want to watch and see somebody get their ass kicked, and then something that completely insults your intelligence and who you are as a fucking person. And to me, the booking this past Sunday was exactly that. So that's all I have to say about, like, all of the women's division. So there it is. What are your thoughts, Andrew?
I tell you, it was like a train wreck in slow motion. Like, seeing him tip over the ladder, and you're like, okay, sure, whatever, fine. And then like him trying to like rouse Carmela and her not moving, and you're like, and the minute he looks up, you knew immediately what was about to happen. You're just like, don't do this. Don't fucking do this, WWE. Like, seriously, don't do this. Don't do this. Oh, fuck. They did it. And it's just like, man, I don't know. Like, I put it in the review, and it kind of says to me that, boy, the absence of any female voices in the creative room is really played a part in this fuck up, because I tell you what, even if there was one woman in that room making the decision, she would be like, yeah, this is a really fucking awful idea. This is like, and it's not because it's going to be universally hated. Like, there are some people who are like, well, this was stupid, but we'll see how they go with it, you know, whatever. Like, okay, fine. If that's how you want to take it, that's how you want to take it. But the fact that they didn't even recognize that it could be a problem was just like, that's just mind-blowing. And like now, and so the debate is, you know, did they know that this was going to cause controversy and do that on purpose, or is the do-over essentially a reaction to the response that they got? And boy, I tell you, if it's they planned this deliberately, why would that's got to be the weirdest. I don't like, there are good ways to do the reality era, and then there are bad ways to do the reality era. The good ways to do it is when it's about the performers. Like when John Cena is talking about Mike, as in The Miz, like who Mike is. You know, he's just a guy who plays other guys on TV or something like that, you know. Or when, you know, Dean Ambrose calls John Cena a lazy part-timer, or, you know, or when people talk shit about Nikki Bella, when Carmela or Natalya talk shit about Nikki Bella being like, oh, she, you know, slept her way to the top, or, you know, we know how she got her way to the top, or whatever, not, you know, all that nonsense. Like, all of that is in storyline on the performers, but still like playing with people's perceptions of reality. So that's like reality era stuff. But this is just the only people that this gets like heat on is management and the booking and the company. Like, Carmela did a knock-up job of giving her promo, and she was starting to get a little bit of like people to turn, but it's up in the air of how long that would have worked for. And I've got all the faith in the world in Carmela as a promo. I think she's a terrific promo, but like after the initial like controversy, like that would blow over, like in the sense that people would just stop being outraged. You know, they would just be like, oh, whatever, fuck it, this happened, and they would just tune out. So it's very, very frustrating, because it's like they don't even know who they are to their audience. And if they do know who they are to their audience, the fact that they try to like, are they even painting themselves in a bad light? Like, is WWE the bad guy here? Like, is this some reality era meta heat heel territory, heel company. Like, we're supposed to be mad at the company, so therefore we'll pay the company. Like, I don't know why that is an impression. If they have that impression, why they think that that is a workable strategy, because clearly, like, house shows attendance is down, live show attendance is down, ratings clearly are not the end all be all, but those are like over 2 years. Like, they've dropped what, 1 million viewers, 2 million viewers or something in like 3 years since when Daniel Bryan was going or whatever.
Daniel Bryan was at his peak. They were averaging about close to 5 million.
About 5 million. And now they're struggling to crack 3. Yeah. And like last week on SmackDown, they were like in the low 2s, and Raw was like in the mid low 2s too. So I don't know. I just don't get why anybody could possibly think that was the way they needed to go about it. Because the promo that Carmela cut could have been literally the exact same promo had Ellsworth just knocked or just tipped over the ladder and gotten Becky off, and then Carmela like came to, and then like he like helped her up the ladder or whatever, but like she ended up grabbing the case. You can do the same exact promo. And the fact that the promo that Carmela gave and how she gave it tells me that she could have gotten just as much heat on that method, that way, than as like the fact that she had literally zero agency in the decision and Ellsworth did it on his own. Like, there was even, you could have had Carmela come out last night and been like, I told James before the match, if I was out and there was a chance, go get it. No, that wasn't said. Like, even like you can try to retcon it. Like, that wouldn't have been very effective, but it would at least been an attempt, So I don't know. It's just very frustrating for me. I was quite upset, obviously, but the reactions I saw from all the female wrestling fans in my timeline it wasn't universally negative. There were a couple of people who were like, I just want to see where this is going. Like, this is probably bullshit, but I'm just going to, hear it out until Tuesday. But boy, I tell you, and what you just said, the responses were people that it's just like, I'm not mad at, anything about the storyline. I get the storyline. And we even had some person in the SmackDown review thread today who said they should be mad at Ellsworth. And I tried to say, I was like, you don't get to be the person who decides who or what people are mad at. Yeah,
yeah. They should be mad at Ellsworth.
Yeah.
He's not a woman's wrestler. So even if the heat is on him, how does it help the women's division?
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah, that's totally there. Like, are they actually going to run a Becky Lynch, James Ellsworth match? I highly doubt it. Like, maybe she'll suplex him at some point or whatever, which she's admittedly already done, but so there's, it's the problem that so many people seem to have with Stephanie's character, and that, she never gets her comeuppance. She can't get her comeuppance because she's a woman. So like, people can't be physical, like dudes cannot be physical with her or whatever, it has to be like incidental contact or whatever. And this is the opposite of that, but also just with the added layer of the company's history of sexism and misogyny and just blindness to any sort of question of gender relations or gender equality. So it's I don't know. I think it's interesting. I would really like to see the people who are like, they, just be mad at Ellsworth. I would like to see if those people are also being like, oh no, it's totally fine that Steph never gets her comeuppance, because
no, of
course not.
See Stephanie get the shit beat out of her.
Exactly, which kind of tells you something.
Yeah, it does, doesn't it?
It does. So it's just, the whole thing has been extremely frustrating, and it's just, man, I tell you, was not helped when Triple H made a really crass, dumb, sexist joke, and that was extremely disappointing. I don't care if he was caught off guard or whatever. The fact that was his response is not like. I never have thought the guy is like a bleeding heart liberal by any means, but I would expect him to have better sense than to say that sort of thing. Like, if he wants to say that in private, whatever. But on camera, no, dude. You should know better than that, especially with the way that you present yourself. Like, you should know a lot better than to say that sort of thing. So the whole thing is just, it's been just constantly disappointing for the last 2 days. And especially then, like, Carmela came out and killed it, and then they undid it. So it's just like, well, why then? Like, literally, what have we achieved? If this was always the plan, what did we achieve by running this as the booking decision? What did we get? We just got people mad at the company, and then we got the little heat that the character, that the performer was getting on their character was tossed immediately.
And now she's on Talking Smack crying about it.
And now she's crying on Talking Smack. And like,
oh God. Yeah, go ahead.
She was exceptional both like during the segment on the show, because like you could see in her face she was like legitimately sad, and like sad in a way that like made you kind of like, you knew this was the heel getting their comeuppance, and was like in kayfabe, like, yes, it was I don't know, like either make her defend it or strip her of it. It was some sort of justice done to the heel at least. But Carmela did it so well to the point that I was just like, man, she looks legitimately like heartbroken right now. And I'm like, I kind of felt, and like I knew I wasn't supposed to, but I felt just a little bit. I was like, man, that kind of sucks. Like, you know, and I was reacting in this weird, like, in storyline, it kind of sucks because, you know, she didn't even get a chance to defend it or whatever. And like out of storyline, it sucks because the performer just came out there, opened the show, fucking crushed it. And then by the end of the show was like, nah, you know? So it's just like, it's just frustrating on so many ways. And I put it in the review, the best way to not make a second big mistake, is to never make the first big mistake that leads to the second one. And that's what they did. And then they made the second mistake, which I don't even know, like, what they could have done to, like, there was nothing they could have done. Yeah, there was nothing they could have done last night that would have justified retroactively what happened on Sunday. They had already let the horse out the barn. They had already fucked up.
It's like when if you hit someone, you can't take the hit back.
Yeah.
You know, some things can't be undone.
Yeah, it's like if you say something really vile to like a friend or a partner or something, like you can't, once it's out there, it's out there.
Exactly.
Like you can't undo it. There are no, and that's why I use the clip from season 1 of The Wire when Avon is yelling at the referee, the biased referee who Prop Joe, rest in peace, Robert Chu, paid off in this East Side, West Side Baltimore basketball game, in case anybody hadn't watched The Wire. The ref is paid off by one of the teams, by one of the coaches or whatever. And then Avon approaches him and it was like, boy, he was foul. It was clear as day. What the fuck, you know? And the ref is scared because Avon Barksdale is like a drug lord, like a drug kingpin kind of dude. So he's like, I can put time back on the clock. He's like, you talking about a do-over? There are no fucking do-overs, you know? And I was just like, yeah, that's kind of it. Like, you've already done what you did. You can't do it over. And the fact that they are literally doing the match over next week on TV is just like, oh boy, of all the ways to do it, like, this was not the one to do it. And yet this was the way they chose, which just, On so many levels, it's so tone deaf and so blind.
I kind of agree with, if you're going to do something like this,
Follow through.
yes, then don't half-ass at it.
Yeah.
Go all in on it. But, you know, this is WWE, so of course they're not. If they're not gonna go, they didn't even go all in on Roman Reigns' push. Of course they're not gonna go all in on fucking Carmela's push.
Yeah.
Come on now. Get out of here. You think they like, seriously, WrestleMania 31, he should have just fucking beat Brock.
Right.
And took the belt and do what the fuck you're gonna do with the guy. But no, it's all these half-ass measures like they love to do, and here we are. And that's the result you see. And this is gonna be the same thing, except, you know, wrestling fans just don't care as passionately about the women's division as they do about the main event men's division. They just don't. It's the truth. So this is something that will be forgotten about eventually. Unlike, you know, people still fucking remember Roman Reigns winning the Royal Rumble, and then the next same year, Daniel Bryan getting dumped out like a geek, and all of these things. That still leaves an impression because it's been built up over decades. The WWE has shown that this is what they care about the most, and the fans follow suit. You just started calling them women again last fucking year.
Yeah.
This is not the time to do this. Just let them have a match. Let them blow the crowd. Let a woman climb up the fucking ladder and win. It's not hard. It's not hard at all. Well, I was watching because I already canceled the network, and I'm seriously considering, like, am I ever going to get it back again? Because now I have a friend who has a network, and I can just watch off of their network. But, like, it's free. It cost me nothing, and I turned it off. It gets to the larger issue, which we talk about. There are no likable faces anymore. Where are your heroes? And as I told you, I've been watching the X-Men movies. Really got back into that. And the thing that struck me about it is that the characters, it's just like a 2.5 hour long movie. And in that movie, you get to see character development from the good guys and the bad guys. And they give you someone to root for, because my favorite character is Magneto. And he is not a hero. Like, he straddles the line a lot in the newer movies, but he's not a hero. But there is such a story there that's compelling that kind of makes you want to root for him anyway, because he's been through so much. WWE doesn't know how to have their characters properly face adversity. Like, they just geek them out, and they think that garners sympathy. You can be strong and still face adversity, but win in the end. And there's not much winning in the end for the good guys. Like, Becky never won really against Charlotte. Becky never won against Alexa. So, like, if Becky was the person, and she was the one that was about to go get the briefcase, so she was the one that was really wrong. All of the other 4 women were wrong, but Becky was the one that was really wrong. How am I to believe, after what you've shown me, that you're not just going to have Carmela take this and she's never going to get her comeuppance, and it's just another rotten person running shit in this company? Like, the booking of that match wasn't the main problem. It's a symptom of a much bigger problem for the women and just overall for the company. Like, we want to see happy shit. the world is depressing enough. I keep turning on TV and I see this person has been attacked for who they are, and these the story that really got me is a story in London. It happened, I think it happened about a week or so ago, with all those people burned down in, like, it's stuff like that. And when you watch your entertainment, you don't want to be more depressed or more frustrated. You want to watch something and forget about your troubles. That's why you put on a good album. That's why you put on a TV show you like. That's why I watch reality TV, because there are some scummy people on reality TV, and this is like real people, but even the producers are smart enough to edit it in a way that the person that they have you root for on this reality show in the end comes out. And it just seems like WWE never gets that. They never get it. And it's so frustrating. It's just like, so I was already cherry picking what I'm gonna watch, and just I don't know, because I was thinking, yeah, maybe I'll watch SmackDown next week, but no, I don't know. I just, why care? Why bother? They've given me no reason to. So you can talk about the rest of the show, because I didn't watch. You can tell me what happened.
It's kind of annoying that like that's the only thing that people remember, because I thought the show was really good. I mean, other than the obvious bullshit that they had to deal with, but like they had a whole thing, like every woman in the match got a chance, to present their case to Daniel Bryan at different times or whatever, which was good. Like Charlotte came in and was just like, we were supposed to make history. Oh, I guess we did, for like all the wrong reasons or whatever. And like the way she said it, she's like, get your fucking shit together. So like she came in like forcefully, and I was like, okay, that's good. And then Natty came in like later. Natty and Tamina came in, and Natty immediately started ass kissing, like just way over the top. Like, Dana, congratulations, you're dead. I missed you so much. We're so happy to have you back. Blah, blah, blah. Just like relentless Natalia ass kissing. And Tamina's just like fucking annoyed. She's just like rolling her eyes, just like, all right, what the fuck are you going to do? She like just like got right to the point or whatever. She was like, Daddy, shut the fuck up. What is going on here? So that was, that was a good bit they both had. And then the final bit, which was one of my favorite segments all year in WWE, in any brand in WWE under the WWE umbrella, was Bryan backstage, and Sami Zayn like comes up to him, and they start talking, and Sami's like, yeah, and Sami cuts one of his typical Sami, like, yeah, man, like I didn't get it done, like I'm trying to do it, I'm trying to get there, blah blah blah, but like, he was like down on his luck sort of bit, trying to like get it back. And then Becky comes up, and Sami is like, oh, he's like, Becky, I'm glad that you came out, you came up here or whatever, because I want to talk to you. Like, I thought you did like a really good job in the match, and I was really pulling for you. So I was really mad about what happened, and like, best of luck going forward. And she was like, yeah, I was pulling for you too or whatever. And it was just like two really nice people just being like, yeah, I was pulling for you. And I was just like, yeah, I like this, and then I don't know why my voice went so high there. Holy shit. I think that's an actor effect of trying to hit that high note in that song. But then Becky talked to Daniel Bryan, and she cut. Becky Lynch is killing it right now. I tell you what, she's my top dog right now. Like, no joke about it. Like, every time she shows up on camera, I'm just like, Becky Lynch is fucking crushing it. She's just killing it. I don't know. I can't say enough positive words about her right now. And she was just like, it feels like, it's supposed to be the land of opportunity or whatever. It feels like the land. First of all, she said the land of handouts, which was my headline from 2 weeks ago when Lana showed up and Becky and Charlotte were doing, sipping all their tea or whatever, and I was putting them over huge in that review. So the fact that she used the land of handouts. I was like, like clearly that's a coincidence, but I clearly took it to mean that it was a reference to my headline. And she was like, yeah, I try so hard and I know this shit's going to happen. What am I supposed to do? Like, tell me, Daniel, what the fuck am I supposed to do? And he was just like, sorry, Becky, it's complicated. And she just like immediately cuts him off and scoffs and is like, is doing the right thing really that complicated? And just looks at him and like shakes her head and walks off. And then like, that's the last woman who talked to Daniel Bryan before he made his decision. Very shortly after, like he's out in the ring, brings them all to the ring, and then he strips her of the case. So the fact that like Becky Lynch's words were the final impetus for Bryan to make the decision to strip Carmela of the case, like that makes Becky look really good. Like I understand why it may have been better in just in a general sense to have Carmela defend the case every week against the other 4 different women or whatever. But the fact that Becky Lynch's words, this ultimate babyface, seemed to directly influence Daniel Bryan to make the like most pure, virtuous decision that could be made, like makes Becky look really fucking good as a babyface. So I don't think people are quite catching. I think that bit has been lost in like the decision of what should have been done is like the fact that it was Becky who was like, do the fucking right thing. And he was just like, yeah, you know what? I got to do the right thing. And he went all out and stripped Carmela of the case. So I think that's just a really wonderful touch that they did. And like, it was just like, I don't know, baby faces were just like, just simply Daniel Bryan being there was just brought energy, positive energy to the show. Like just the show and Talking Smack, just everything just felt more upbeat, more lighthearted, more positive. And like, Big E won a singles match against Jim Uso. Becky and Sammy had those good promos. Sammy had a good little bit with Ty Dillinger, which is like it was a product placement ad for like Sonic Shakes. And Sammy was just like doing basically like a market research like review. So he's having like Ty Dillinger like grade the 2 shakes that were on the table. He's like, all right, tell me what, like, what do you think about this one? What do you think about, that one? Like, tell me how you feel about each one. Like, which one's better or whatever. And of course, every time Ty is just saying, oh, that one's a 10. That one's a 10. And like Sammy's getting frustrated. He's like, no, but I like need a real answer. I like, so like, it was a creamier or like, why are you going with this or whatever? And it's just like the interplay that they were having was really good and really entertaining. And then Chad Gable's bit when he came out later and answered the open challenge, and Kevin Owens is like, I know you're not from Dayton either. Like, what the fuck? Get the hell out of here. And he's like, actually, I just moved to Dayton this morning. He's like, actually, I just moved to Dayton. He's like, oh yeah, when? This morning. He said it like sheepishly and shit. People are like, okay, that's kind of funny. He's like, what's your address? And so he gives the address of Wright State University, which I did not put the connection together, but apparently like the Wright State University like arena was where the show was airing from. So like the general address 3640 Colonel Glenn Highway is the main building of Wright State or whatever. So, it's like the generic campus address or whatever. But so like all the people in the crowd like knew what was going, like you could see a bunch of people in the front row being like, oh, okay, like nodding their heads and stuff. Like I did not make that connection immediately, but so that was clever. And then he looked good. He ultimately lost clean or whatever, but he looked good in the match. He got like a nice little moonsault. He got a nice little chaos theory, but also just like the fact that he got to show a little bit of personality, like that came off really well. Like that was like the best Alpha, either of Alpha may have looked for at least since they won the titles, and maybe even more than that, because that was just like a match that just happened, and like with a good hot crowd. But like that wasn't really building anything, that was just a title switch. So like all the baby faces just got like good little bits in. Like they weren't like hugely triumphant, other than like Becky's, virtuous words making this making it clear for Daniel Bryan what he needed to do. But like everyone got nice little bits to just like advance their characters and like make you feel good about these characters and what was going on with them, even if like they weren't winning anything at the moment or whatever, you know. So I really liked just the mood and attitude and atmosphere of the show in kayfabe felt more positive. So and that has definitely not been the case. And Bryan makes a huge difference over Shane McMahon in that sense. Like Shane has done a couple of things that I like enjoyed, like trolling Lana and like getting fucked up with New Day on Talking Smack, like that. Those are fun bits, but like for the most part, his energy is all wrong. But Daniel Bryan brings the energy that brand really thrives off of. Like I did not even realize, and I've been reviewing the show for almost a year now. Like I did not realize how integral he is to that show. Like people were like, "Oh, it's AJ Styles' bit is like, this is the house that AJ Styles built," or people like The Miz is the best, or like Alexa Bliss's coming out party or whatever. But literally everything that ties it together is just the persona, just the positive persona and feelings that the audience has for Daniel Bryan and him being a central figure and like making the decisions, even if like the decisions he makes like are great or are wrong, or like you can be like, well, that's kind of fucked up. He's kind of seems like he's ganging up on The Miz. Just the fact that it's his positive persona just sort of directing the show in a way, just directing the universe, I guess, in a way, like, which is, kind of what the general manager would be in real life. So I don't know. It just made so much of a difference to me. So I had a really hard time grading the show because for the longest time, I just had written like my last sentence is like, this show is impossible to grade. Like it's like the shit they did Sunday and then they somehow made it worse tonight, or like, there was no way to make it better. But on the other hand, there was all this good stuff. So originally I just written not applicable, like NA, like I can't grade this show. I don't know what to tell you. I literally had wrote, just read the words above. And then I was like, no, yeah, actually, but I am feeling more positive towards this show. Not obviously what had happened Sunday or whatever, but like this specific show that I had just watched. And I think that bodes well going forward. And man, do they really need to not lose Daniel Bryan for any more like length of time, because I really, really think he is. I think he's still the biggest. I think it's kind of clear that he's still the biggest star in WWE. Like even more than and like John Cena is now a bigger star, like in the larger sense, outside, he's in Hollywood now and stuff too. But like in WWE, in the WWE universe, like nobody gets reactions like Daniel Bryan still gets. And I think the fact that he is so recently retired and still like 37, 36, 37, like still very young guy, that like people can still relate to him as like an active character, even if he's not wrestling. So I don't know. So I just think he really makes the show. And I don't think people have quite really, I think that's been lost from last. I think that lesson of last night has been kind of lost because everybody's focusing, understandably so, on, what has gone on the last couple of days with the women's Money in the Bank case. So I don't know. So like, I really like the show. And like, I mean, the Orton Mahal program was whatever. That was fine. Like Randy Orton showed a little bit more energy. So
wait. Randy Orton is still feuding with Jinder Mahal.
Yeah. It's funny. It's funny too because like he showed more energy than like he ever has in this entire program. Like last night, like for some reason, like he thought. I did see that tweet from Chad Gable, Caitlin, that Gable tweeted this morning that he moved back to Minnesota this morning. I was
I thought it too.
That was cute. Yeah, but it was just like Randy Orton's character or something took his father getting, accosted or whatever by the Singh brothers and like The performer has somehow actually turned that into legitimate energy to perform, to actually do better on the show. I don't know. It's very weird. It's very strange. I don't know. But it even he was just kind of like, he came out and he was just like, okay, this, like, I don't really like Randy Orton for a lot of different reasons, but like, I was just like, all right, this is a baby face with fire. And I was like, okay, cool. That's fine. Whatever, So even he like had a little bit.
He lost his rematch.
I know he lost his rematch, but they're not ready to start their SummerSlam program. So what can I tell you?
Oh,
what's funny is I did not realize until like 3 days ago that Battleground was A, pay-per-view in July, and B, a SmackDown pay-per-view. I thought that last night was the last pay-per-view they had until SummerSlam. So I was like, fuck, man. A long build. And then I was like, wait, there's a fucking Battleground pay, which makes sense. I went to it last year in July, but I totally had forgotten that it was a show in the schedule.
Dear Lord.
Yeah. Have you heard the rumor about that match?
No, what is it?
Punjabi Prison.
You see, I wasn't really watching.
Yeah, I have no idea what that actually means.
So it just, like, to me, all I think about is like a Hell in a Cell with like bamboo sticks instead of steel. I don't know what the hell. I don't know. So
yeah, I have no clue.
I'm boycotting SmackDown Live right about now.
I don't blame you. Couldn't authenticate you. What is this bullshit? Sorry.
Yeah. No, let's take a little sidebar before we talk about Raw. We talk about the shitty ass update. It's just CSS. There was nothing wrong with the site. Okay, the graphics, whatever. Like, that doesn't pop me. I cannot communicate with my peoples like I want to. Because sometimes I want to say something and the fucking website couldn't authenticate you. What? I've not left. Like, that needs to get fixed. Like, last week. It's stupid. It is stupid. I hate it. I need to do something about it. Like, seriously, it sucks. It's just the worst. But like, I get what you're saying, and like, maybe like I'll give it until Battleground to cleanse my palate from the sour taste that SmackDown has left in my mouth. I just can't right now. I just can't. I'll just read. I didn't even watch YouTube clips. That's how like disconnected I have tried to make myself from SmackDown Live. I cannot right now. Like, I unfollowed Carmela on Twitter just because, like, I don't even want to see this shit on my timeline. Like, it's nothing against her. I'm not mad at her. I just didn't want to see anything about it on my timeline. So, I think that's where I'm going to be at. So, is there anything else you want to say about SmackDown before we move to Raw?
Let's see. Let me pull up my notes. My notes, which literally start all caps, open by singing the Canellis' theme. Literally what my notes start with. Yeah, and all they talk about is Becky and Sammy. So I already covered that.
Okay, so on Raw this week, Roman Reigns opened the show and he wanted to make an announcement about SummerSlam. Now, you can't do the finish that you do at Money in the Bank and piss me off. And then I know that my favorite wrestler is opening Raw the next. I was like, shit, I'm going to have to watch Raw tonight. And I'm glad I did, because Roman was like, awesome, great, wonderful. One thing though, I don't care what WWE like is trying to do. That man is a heel. You do not go to the ring and say, one-on-one, I can't be beaten. And then run down the names of the people you've beaten and include that you've main evented WrestleMania 3 times in a row, and the third time you retired one of the most beloved WWE wrestlers ever in The Undertaker. You don't do that as a face. You also don't say, I don't care whatever happens at SummerSlam, I'm the number one contender because I run the yard and I'm the guy. And then another thing that you don't do is when Samoa Joe comes out, you refuse to call him Samoa Joe and you call him just Joe. Like, Samoa Joe is a good guy. Cause like he's been Samoa Joe longer than Roman Reigns has been Roman Reigns. Let's get that clear. First of all.
That's a fair point.
Way longer. He's been Samoa Joe way longer than Roman Reigns has been Roman Reigns. Okay. Look this man in his face and said, you will never be Samoa Joe. You will always be just Joe. Oh, and by the way, bragged about taking out Braun Strowman. Okay? So, of course, this sets up Samoa Joe versus Roman Reigns, which was an excellent match. And I'm sorry, if anybody did not see it, please go watch it because I'm still crazy over this spot where he did the arm drag.
The arm drag, yeah.
To counter the urinate. I was like, oh my God. Who thinks of that? Like, I've never seen, like, I love that part of the match. So he's about to win, you know, he's doing this little thing in the corner or whatever. Then the Tron shows an ambulance coming up, and I'm like, that's Braun Strowman. And when Braun Strowman busts out of the ambulance, Roman Reigns gave a heel reaction of like, oh shit. Like, he gave a face that heels make when somebody they've injured or taken out is coming back to get their vengeance. Like, what the...
That's a really good point, too, because actually when the ambulance was backing up, like, into the arena, the camera cut back to Roman, and he was, like, looking at it, and he was, like, kind of shaking his head. He was like, no.
Yeah, no.
This is not happening.
Right.
You know?
Exactly.
Yeah, that is totally a heel thing.
He was a heel last night.
It's fucking weird.
Well, yeah, not last night, Monday. He was a fucking heel. Yeah. I'm just sitting here like, does Vince know? Is he too senile? And like, okay, Roman has admit pretty much he gets to write his own promos now. So is he that blinded by Roman's looks that he doesn't realize this motherfucker has turned himself heel? Like, what? Seriously, like, oh Jesus, he turned himself heel in the smartest way because he's still not insulting the crowd. So the little kids and women that cheer him can still cheer him, and the men that are gonna boo him still. He says things to get them to boo him even more. And everybody's like, hold on, wait a minute. That's not really nice, Roman, but okay. It's just weird to me, but it sets up like a SummerSlam main event. Out of those four men, like Brock Lesnar, Samoa Joe, Roman Reigns, Braun Strowman, whoever, like, it's most likely going to be some combination of those four men in the SummerSlam main event. And SmackDown ain't got shit. I don't know what they're going to do.
Right.
To combat that kind of situation. Like, I like what's going on there. Let's talk about, well, some people might be upset, but I'm kind of interested in the Drifter versus Finn Balor. I think, like, I don't know where they're going with the Drifter because he's getting such good heel heat that I could see, like, at least he could be like a upper upper card heel. But if he's going against Finn Balor, like, Finn doesn't really need to be losing
No.
to anybody that's not like absolute main event. So I'm interested to see how they're gonna play it, because yeah, the Drifter was insulting the crowd, but if that was the Drifter's time to go out there and do his thing, and like, I was indifferent to him, but I played in a band in high school, and the one thing you do not do is tune up your instrument in the middle of, you tune your instrument up backstage. To like him like trying to tune his instrument in front of the audience, that pissed me off. And I was like, oh, somebody come out and punch him in the face. What do you, like, you don't do that. So like, he's gotten me on the hate train of like, I want to see somebody whoop his ass. But I don't know, like, if you're planning on pushing him, which I don't know if they are, but if they are, should he be losing his first feud? You know what I'm saying? WWE always does this. Like, I think that could have been like somebody smaller for the Drifter to go, because the Drifter's kind of just been drifting around. He really doesn't have a set feud. I thought it was going to be Dean, but Dean and Miz aren't done yet. So it kind of confuses me. I think the best situation is just to let Finn go ahead and beat him, and like hope that his gimmick is so good that, that people will still just be pissed off and want to see somebody else punch him in the face. You know what I mean? I don't know. Kind of odd that they would do it right now. You know what I mean?
Yeah. I mean, it kind of seems like they don't have like a main program right now for Friends, so they're just doing like an interim thing. And I tell you, the Drifter is really valuable because like everybody will always hate the dude who shows up with a guitar and tries to fucking start playing. Nobody likes that person. I'm not even certain the people who are that person like that person. Like, seriously. It's like, oh, I can't believe I'm fucking doing this again, you know? But yeah, so I think his gimmick is kind of foolproof in that all he has to do is go out there and sing and play guitar, not very well, which he probably can actually play the guitar, but it's kind of hard to play.
I think he does.
To like do something poorly. You have to know how to do something poorly. You know what I mean?
I think he does know, because it's hard to hit any chord. I've tried to play guitar.
Yeah.
So it's hard to hit. He gets the chords. So it's kind of hard to get the chords and you don't know anything about what you're doing. So yeah. So I don't know. I feel like, yeah, like you said, I think he's a really valuable guy, and I think it's a program that Finn will eventually go over in. And I don't know what they're going to be doing with Finn going forward though, because like I don't know if like he's the main event guy, then like why is he not? It's very curious. I don't understand what's going on, admittedly, on Raw, because I've been in and out for like the last month or so, you know. Like even when I'm like have it on, I'm kind of like barely paying attention unless it's like I hear "Sky's the Limit" pop or something. Which I was so disappointed when it did on Monday night, because it was just like people were starting to work themselves into shooting. Like, oh, maybe they're doing like a cross-brand boycott angle. Like the women are boycotting over the. Nope, they just stuck them on in 2 hours at the 2 hour and 50-minute mark for 4 minutes and put them all in a segment together. So, you know, that was good. Yeah, I would have
much preferred just no women
off the show.
Exactly. Because then people would be like, what the fuck? What's going on?
Exactly. Mm-hmm.
Instead of just being like, oh, it's exactly what we think it is. Yeah, right? Yeah, exactly.
Right. That's not even worth talking about. They're probably going to be in like some kind of clusterfuck of a 8-woman match or whatever the fuck. Who knows?
Great balls.
No, I don't think it's going to be a championship match. I think
Oh, just like a
They're
tag match or some shit?
match, yep, for some odd reason, and Alexa Bliss is gonna walk out again or some. I don't know what the fuck is happening.
Who fucking cares?
Right. So
yeah,
next
week on NXT, we got a fucking last woman standing championship match.
Right.
Fucking Asuka and Nikki Cross. Like,
right.
God.
Cannot wait.
Oh boy.
Okay, so let's go to a heartbreaking tale between the Miz and Maurice. What? Dean Ambrose is breaking them up, and I don't like it. I don't like it one bit. Like, Maurice don't need to be. Just come home, Maurice. It's okay. You know the pressure. They should be on the top of the world right now. He's a 7-time freaking Intercontinental Champion. They should not be arguing and bickering. And Dean is evil. He's evil. He hates love if it's not his own. if it's not Renee Young or Roman Reigns, he's not down for it. Damn it. Dean is evil. Why does Dean hate love, Andrew?
Well, because he was betrayed by his brother, so he doesn't trust anybody anymore and has, emotional insecurities. I love how I just went immediately. I was like, well, this is why.
I mean, that
makes sense, right? In kayfabe.
Typical of other folks' relationships, putting them to the test. I don't like it. I don't know where this is going, but hopefully it's going in the route of Maurice is just pretending to be mad, and it's a swerve, and she's gonna come back home and help Miz retain the title once again. That's really what I hope. Because if you break them up, you're gonna take Maurice off TV, which they've kind of set the groundwork for Miz, because they gave him 2 lackeys in Bo Dallas and Curtis Axel. I almost forgot his name. Which they were the Bears, and I agree with everyone else. They should always and forever wear those bear costumes. But that's kind of interesting. We'll see where that goes. Of course, we've seen this play out before. The Miz is going to treat them poorly. He's going to do a great job of thinking that those 2 are better than they are, and everybody's going to want those guys pushed. When in fact, no, it's just the Miz working his magic again. What else happened? Oh, yes. I also am very happy that my theory about Big Cass was correct. And the first week when he was standing over Enzo, and Enzo was laid out, and everybody well, maybe it's the top guy. I said, it's Cass. It's Cass. He's sick of Enzo shit. But come on, look at Enzo now. Look at him. Who would not get tired of him? I don't know how. I'm not the man personally, but that character, I don't know how that character could maintain a long-term relationship. He's annoying as fuck, and he's a loudmouth. And the worst part of it all, as Cass said, he writes checks that his ass most definitely cannot cash. So, that team was tailor-made to break up. It was built for it, and every time they had a title opportunity that I can recall, Enzo is the reason they lost. So, Cass was making a lot of very cogent points. The thing of it is why didn't you just break up with him? Why did you go through all this, to act like you were attacked too? And they tried to explain it, but I don't think they did a good enough job. It's kind of a weak argument. It's to make a fool out of him or something like that. I don't know. To me, it kind of seems like they're going for the same type of heat that DIY got for their breakup. But I don't know if fans were that emotionally invested in Cass.
Yeah.
and Enzo the way they are in Tommaso Ciampa and Johnny Gargano. I don't know. We'll see. But I did think like his promo went a little bit long. But I think Cass did well enough. I'm just worried because, as I've said before, he's really awkward, and every time, like when he runs the ropes, this is what I hear: da 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 da. He's not smooth. I saw him in person, just like you did, and you're right. Yeah. He does not carry that height like he is a giant, and like they already have Braun Strowman,
right?
So it's like, do they really need another like really big guy as a solo wrestler, especially a guy who's he doesn't have the intensity that Braun has, and I don't know. We'll see, but I don't know. I'm kind of pulling for him because I was always big fans of them in NXT. I'll see where it goes, but where I think most people think that Enzo has heat and he's going to be released soon.
Yeah.
But I think that's a disservice because I do not think Cass would have ever gotten nearly as over as he did without Enzo. But I think Enzo would have gotten over just because he can talk.
He can talk.
And he comes up with catchphrases and things of that nature. I always thought Enzo should be a manager, a heel manager, but a manager. Who takes bumps. But WWE is allergic to managers, so.
Right.
We'll see. I guess they're gonna feud with each other, which that match.
Oh boy.
Oh, that match is gonna be rough, baby.
I can't see them. I feel like the only thing they can do there is run a squash.
Yeah, like he just murders him.
Like he just ganks him. Like why? You're not gonna have. Maybe Enzo gets in a very brief comeback, but match sub 4 minutes, you know?
Yeah.
So I don't know what. Maybe they don't even run a match. Just Cash keeps beating the shit out of him, and he goes away. I have no idea. Who fucking knows?
To get some. But see, I think the reason why they introduced the Big Show into this is
to have like a champion for him.
Yeah, to have somebody to come in, because he was like, why would I attack you, Enzo? You like, I don't need to attack you from behind. Who the fuck are you? You know what I mean?
Yeah. Boy, I tell you, maybe Vince started watching Game of Thrones and he got the idea of having a trial by combat. So Enzo's going to request a trial by combat and have Big Show be his champion against Cass. If this happens, you all heard it here first. I'm just saying.
Yeah, and then, Big Show, he's in the giving stage of his career, and he is another big guy.
And Big Show was terrific. He's like, fuck this shit.
Because he was on TV. We all know how he hates.
Because his interview with Jericho, he's like, TV fucking sucks. So everything he said was a shoot. I swear to God. That was terrific. He's like, this is dumb as fuck. I'm leaving.
But yeah, I think we're going to see some Cass and Big Show, and Big Show is going to try to help further along Cass and his development. I think Big Show's great at it. Like, shit. Roman Reigns, I always give him credit. Roman Reigns was not as good in the ring until after, like, and he wrestled Big Show for like 3 years. God.
Forever. Yeah, right? Yeah.
Ever. But it helped him develop as a wrestler. So Big Show has a future with that, and he also helped out Braun. So maybe now it's Cass's turn. So I'm excited for all of that. Is there anything else you want to talk about the Bayley rumor now?
I mean, do I want to talk about it? I feel, isn't it just like a different version of the same rumor that we heard before?
Yeah, but I just wanted to pass along my.
Yeah, you're the one who wants to talk about it. Let's be real here. Let's be real here.
So apparently, there's rumors floating around that they want to put Bayley in a love storyline, and they think I guess that Corey Graves is the best candidate, but they're not sure. And of course, I said just for the sheer awkwardness of it and how like they are like two completely opposing type of characters. I want her to have a romance angle with Roman Reigns because I think that would be the funniest shit ever. Like, could you imagine? Like, I can't even imagine them having a conversation backstage where it goes well. Like, awkward city. Oh my god! And then Bailey wearing his vest and doing. Oh my god! I would just love like if you're gonna make the wrestling world burn, go for it. Do some shit. Stop doing these half-ass measures and take it back 2 days later. Like, oh, fight. We were just joking. Go all in. That's what I say. Hell, they should, if they're gonna have like sexism as the enemy, let's do it. Let's have Rusev come out and be like, I want a shot at the women's championship. Why not? I'm better than all these women. He already has the sexist gimmick. Let's go for it, WWE. Just burn the whole damn thing down to the ground. What do you have to lose anyway? That's how I feel. Just burn it all. Burn everything.
Burn them all.
Yes.
Yeah. Bailey and Roman Reigns. That would be something.
It would be so awkward. It would be so awkward.
I'm not gonna lie. I'm imagining it, and it's coming across very entertaining to me. I'm not lying. Like if they don't, oh god! But they're gonna make Bailey be like the fawning, like.
Oh, of course.
Oh no, I see. But like, if they were just like cool with each other and like kind of hanging out a little bit, like talking, they were talking, quote unquote talking. That would be a hoot. That'd be great. Roman going out like fist bumping the wacky waving inflatable arm flailing tube man. I never get that right. Just giving fist bumps to them, just like boom. Yeah, I'd be here for that side of it, but if it's like they're gonna make Bailey like into a 6-year-old girl, no, thank you. God, man, no, Vince does not get that character.
Because 6-year-olds don't really like boys. She'd have to be at least 13.
Is that true? That's not fucking true. The whole idea of like cooties is like. I'm gonna stop talking. I'm not going to go down the road.
Okay, because I have 2 little girls who think their brother is gross.
Yeah, because it's their brother. Of course they're gonna think that. Shit. The fuck.
Well, yeah, I guess. I'm trying to think like how old I was when I actually started getting crushes on wrestlers. I was like 9 or 10.
I've never had a crush on her.
You've never had? Oh, of course not, Andrew. Of course not.
Never.
My first, I had to be like 9 or 10 because that's how old I was when I first saw Diesel.
Wait, is this when you saw him in the magazine?
No, I was like 13 when I saw him in the magazine. So the crush was fully realized. Right,
the crush was realized, and then it was kicked into overdrive.
Right. Like when I was 9 or 10, I was like, oh my God, who is that? He's so cute. Oh, gross. Why am I thinking he's cute? He's a man. And I was like, yes, he is a man.
Woo! Boy, oh boy.
Yeah, that takes me back. And what's so funny is that I didn't get a crush on Shawn Michaels until like 95 or something. But it was always there for Diesel. Like, I know Shawn Michaels was supposed to be like the pretty boy. I think it was the haircut. When he had that mullet, he was not cute to me.
No, that's not a good look.
No, but he started growing that hair out. I was like, wait a minute.
Wait just a minute.
Hold on for a second. Yeah. So I guess she could... she'll be like a little girl having a crush, following Roman around.
No, thank you.
And Roman's like, every time I turn around, what do you want, baby? Oh my God.
Oh boy, oh boy.
Somebody was like, they like to see it just to see the internet burn, but Roman with a side ponytail? Oh my God.
Right?
Oh my God, that is the best. Roman with a side ponytail with an I'm a hugger and little arms band thing, doing the inches, high five in the air and shit. Oh my God, yeah.
This is like one of those things where, like, in like WWE 2K18 or 2K17, where you can like bring a wrestler out to any entrance or whatever.
Right.
Yeah. This is what I'm picturing now.
That's crazy. And see, I said, you know, like, being an ironic wrestling fan is cool and hip. So if the Smarts at Large hate it, there's a segment of Smarts that are like, this is the greatest shit ever. So, like, they would be so conflicted. At least they don't, like, oh, other Smarts hate it, but fuck, I don't like this either, but I have to pretend I like it. And they're all like, yeah, this is great. I can't wait for the live sex celebration.
We got blocked. We got blocked by like the patron saint of ironic wrestling Twitter.
Oh yes, Frey.
Yeah.
With his bitch ass. You know what?
He blocked both of us.
You know why he blocked me, right? Okay, so I had to work Monday. So I get on my Twitter. Somebody has retweeted him saying, you know, the New York office, which motherfucker, just say WWE.
Yeah.
Okay.
I mean, I do that sometimes too.
You don't do it all the time.
That's true. I don't say, yeah, I say like very
WWE's name is the New York office. Like, every fucking tweet I see of the motherfucker, he says the New York office. Man, anyway, he said, oh, people spending all day talking about the New York office means they're important or some bullshit. And I just tweeted to him, like, I've been at work all day, pal. Some people have jobs and actual lives here. And I got blocked. Oh, who's a snowflake now? Who can't handle opinions now, motherfucker? Like, and his little partner in crime, Rovert, is just as sensitive, but, like, I would never tweet at that asshole. I would never. No. But I think I tweeted at Frey just because I wanted to block him. I wanted to get blocked by him or somebody. Because nobody blocks me. Like...
Yeah, you got jealous after... Well, has Lana blocked you yet?
No, sir. Not at all.
Oh, man, that's a bummer.
But, see, the thing is, I don't really tweet about Lana because she's a non-motherfucking factor. And I realize she is in this picture. That is not my choice. She's...
Where is she? Couldn't you have cropped her out? You could have cropped that.
If I had cropped that, I would have had to take the best person out of the picture, was the Summer Rae.
Yeah, that's true. That's a good point. You could have just like erased her face in like MS Paint or some shit.
Well,
that's me. First of all, Paige looks so fucking pale in that picture.
She is pale.
Not that pale though. Like, holy shit.
Well, look who she's by. She is around the colored women. So of course she's by Tamina and Naomi and Sasha, and you know, Eva Marie's pretty damn tan.
Yeah.
Poor Eva. She's over on like the outskirts. Like,
yeah, right.
Nobody really. Her and Lana both actually are like.
Yeah, they're on the extreme edges.
Right. And of course, Charlotte is where she is because she's tall, and then Summer's
Yeah.
like the tall people are in the back, but Summer's over there, and they're all her. Oh yeah, that's when Brie Bella retired.
Yeah.
That's why they took that picture. This is one of my favorite picture of the women. Like, it's just it gives me hope. Hope I should never ever have.
But WWE should have beaten out of you by now.
Yeah, but it just makes me, because the women's locker room then wasn't always where pictures like this was possible. There were a lot of backstabbers and just I don't give a fuck what's going on. It's just me, and like one of the biggest like heart crushers to me was to find out that China didn't respect the other women in the company. Like I was like, the nerve of her to like, okay, you took some supplements, so let's not lie. You took some shit, you got some muscles, you fucked the right guy, and you got a big push. That doesn't make you any better than any of these other women who have come to this company. Like, seriously, that was like, that left a sour taste in my mouth, honestly. Like, she would not put over Ivory, who's amazing. She would not put over Lita, which is like, what? Lita was getting like Stone Cold level pops. So maybe, I don't know. But like, after she had wrestled, like after what she'd been through with most of the men refusing to work with her, she had the same attitude with the other women. Like, the environment seems a lot different with the exclusion of Lana, of course, where these women genuinely seem to support each other and want to see each other succeed. So if all else fails, I always have that.
People in the thread are continuing on with the Bayley and Roman thing, and it's quite entertaining.
Of course, because how could it not be?
Bayley bears with Roman vests.
Oh, that would be cute.
Supergirl punch.
Superman punch into a Bayley to belly. Oh my God, I can see it.
That's dope as fuck. Sign me up for this mix tag. Shit, Roman and Sasha's mix tag was fire too.
Right. So even if it's not a romance storyline, just a friendship, because like they really can't bury Bayley anymore, and like maybe
don't be so certain.
Yeah, that's true.
Don't put that out there.
No, I take it back. It can get much worse. I take it back. But like, if they team together, maybe Bayley could have like the Dean Ambrose thing where Roman was really hated, but everybody was still cool with Dean. I don't know. It's much better than whatever the fuck they have planned, probably. That's why, like, everybody I said this to, they're like, yeah, let's do it. Which means WWE would never do it in a million years.
No, yeah.
But Corey Graves?
It's because he's a bad boy. He's got all those tattoos and shit.
It should be a cruiserweight then.
It's like fucking Bayley has tattoos. Shit.
Right? Oh, and that interview that she did with Corey where she hugged him, they made sure that this time when they cut the back of her, that goddamn tattoo was covered up by that ponytail. I noticed that. Because the first time she did it, you could fully see it, but the last time she had the interview, I noticed that tattoo did not show. Not one time. They were like, Bayley, you're gonna have to fix your ponytail so people don't see your Illuminati tattoo.
Boy, I'd like to ask what those are about, because that's some interesting shit going on.
Al Snow tweets for Monday. Tweets to wrestling fans. Oh yes, he said that you enjoyed wrestling when you didn't know anything. So just go back to not knowing anything. As if the men in black are gonna come with a neuralizer and erase our fucking brains. You cannot put the toothpaste back in the tube. We know. And like the biggest era in wrestling that made the most money was the Attitude Era when everybody knew it was predetermined. That's not the problem. It's not the problem. It's shitty booking. Say it with me, Al. Shitty booking. Okay? Stop fucking defending this shit. Stop getting mad at us for knowing. Like, it would be stupid in this day and age, in 2017, for grown-ups to think that somebody, like, doing a 450 splash on somebody, like, just move. You've lain there for 30 seconds. You're not out cold. Just move. Why are they running on the ropes? Seriously, if you thought about, you don't even have to know, if you thought about wrestling just a little, you would see, like my 10-year-old, I had to tell him, because he's growing up, he's getting smarter, he's watching wrestling, and certain shit didn't add up to him, and he started asking me questions. So I was like, okay, look, catch can out of the bag, let's pull it all the way out. This is predetermined. You know, because when you start asking questions like, why are they running the ropes? Like, I don't know, because they're supposed to. Right? Like, they've always done it. Like, seriously, just because somebody pushes you into the ropes, you can stop. What? You know, and I really do enjoy a lot of sequences where people are running the ropes and somebody will stop and hit the person.
Yeah.
I love sequences like that because it's more realistic than just straight up running the ropes. Let me do a leapfrog. Let me jump down and you jump over me. It's like,
yeah, if you jump down on the ground, why don't I just jump on your back? Like,
yes.
Right?
I think Alexa Bliss did something similar once where they were running the ropes and they got down and she just stomped them. And I was like, oh, I love this girl. Like, she was an NXT when she did that.
I do not remember this.
It can always get worse.
It can always get worse. It's true.
Bryan's tweet from a few hours ago was something you do in roses are red, violets are blue. Who has not, when you were in the 6th grade, done a variation of roses are red, violets are blue? I give him 0 points for that.
I don't think I ever did.
I did. Oh, a lot. Roses are red, violets are blue. Your face is ugly. I want to hit you.
Jesus.
Shit like that.
My God.
I mean, it wasn't like to anybody in particular. These are the type of poems I wrote when I was in school.
Yeah, I don't
Hickory
think
dickory dock. something cock.
I was waiting for that. I was so waiting for that.
Yeah, but yeah, that was the type of shit I did. So no, I give him no points. It's cute. He's not finished with Roman. We know. This what happens. He's all up in that Roman Reigns love. It's fresh and it's new. Bray Wyatt felt it a few years ago, and he's still going through it. So, of course, Bryan, you'll never be finished with him.
My God.
Did you not see those two frolicking in Rome?
Yeah, they were like hanging out. Weren't people like upset that they were like breaking kayfabe or some shit?
They were upset because it was Roman breaking kayfabe. We don't about to get that damn.
Oh yeah, right. Yeah, exactly. Why is Roman breaking kayfabe, saying nothing about Braun? Yeah, Marcel does bring up the good point that the original tweet was, "I'm not fished with you," which is fucking hilarious.
I'm not fished with
Yeah,
you.
yeah, he made a typo. He was supposed to write, I'm not finished with you, and he wrote, I'm not fished with you. It's hilarious.
That is a hilarious typo.
Right?
He had somebody told him, "Hey, dude, I think it's supposed to be finished."
Yeah. And he's like, well, fuck, I've already gotten like 400 retweets, so can't stop it now.
Oh yeah.
Oh, the Ghost of Bailey. Oh, her poetry was Charlotte. I actually liked that segment. I might be the only one who did, though.
No, I don't think it was. I think it wasn't Charlotte's best moment. I thought it made Charlotte look bad. I didn't think it made Bailey look bad. Because she was rambling on and trying to read stuff off the title.
Oh, that was... Who thought that out? Like, seriously.
I don't know, man.
That's the worst. That's just the dumbest idea, like, maybe of all time, is trying to read handwriting, small handwriting from the ring on the Titantron. That's
probably the same person who thought out that This Is Your Life.
Yeah, but still, come on. Why is nobody speaking up? That's like, are you afraid that you're gonna get fired if you are like, this is a bad idea? Because that's not good. That's not good if that's the case.
It is not. I think some guys are speaking up. I don't think there's any. I think the environment is such that some women, even Charlotte, probably don't feel comfortable speaking up.
Yeah.
And not going to Vince. You know who they're going to if they don't like something. They're all Randy Orton now. Ex Triple H. Even like Natty, she's like, I'm gonna go find Triple H and see if I can get this changed. Yeah, they are terrified, and I don't blame them, because none of their positions are secure at all. So it's a damned if you do, damned if you don't type of situation here. The only one is that a 100% can completely speak up without fear of repercussions is Brock Lesnar. That's the only person that works there. It's not even John Cena. Because I've heard interviews of him where he's like, yeah, I've had all this. He spent a shitload of money on new gear when he thought they were going to turn him heel against The Rock. Yes. And he still has that gear. And he's still waiting to turn heel.
Never gonna happen.
Right. So, it'll probably be like, I'm sure he has a lot of things over his career that he's collected. So, like, whenever he wants to have, like, a museum or some kind of display or an auction, he'll auction that off and make his money back triple time. Yeah, they buried his This Is Your Life segment, but did they bury the person who wrote it? That's the question.
Right? Seriously. Fucking Dewey Foley's ass.
I almost I love sucks. Mick Foley.
Yeah.
I love Mick Foley, but and then he just defended those bad ideas to the death of him. That's how you knew it was a Dewey Foley idea. Because he's just out there, oh no, I think now I might give Dewey credit for putting Sheamus and Cesaro together, because Mick Foley defended the fuck out of that, and he still defended
that's true. That's a fair point.
They just recently won the Raw Tag Team Championships, and Mick Foley tweeted something like, I wonder who was the smart guy who put them together. And I was like, yeah, okay, we get it, Mick. Your son had one good fucking idea. And it's not the hardest thing to do. Cesaro is a great tag team partner. So is Sheamus. They're not doing shit right now. Let's put them together. Brilliant idea. Great. Wonderful. So let's talk a little NXT, shall we?
Oh, okay. All right.
I didn't watch the show tonight though.
Oh, it's another good show.
Oh, I will catch it whenever
Fucking Bobby Roode saying bad shit to Roddy Strong. I tell you.
What did he say? Did he talk about his personal life?
So he was doing a photo shoot backstage somewhere or whatever, and Roddy shows up with his wife and the baby boy in the stroller. And so Bobby starts giving him lip. He's like, "Oh, hey, Roddy, what's going on?" Blah blah blah. You know, and Roddy's like kind of rolling his eyes, like, "Oh fuck," like blah blah blah. So like he kind of like sends Marina, apparently is his wife's name, off with the baby, and Bobby Roode's like, "Oh, hey, Marina, just let me know if you ever want to know what it feels like to be with a real man."
Ooh.
And his shoot was on. They were fucking fisticuffs were happening.
Yeah.
Immediately. Shit was thrown down.
Those are fighting words.
And those are fighting words. Those are big fighting words right there. So they were immediate. I fucking loved that Oni Lorcan was the first guy to break to like get in between them too. Like he came out of nowhere and he was like there for 5 seconds before anybody else. He was just like, "Fucking stop or I'll beat the shit out of both of you," is what I was imagining him saying in his head. I fucking love that guy. That guy's crazy. Yeah, so started a hot angle. And I think, 2 weeks from now? Title match between the two of them. So, don't know what's...
Roddy. Well, maybe there'll be some shenanigans.
And then do a rematch in Brooklyn, maybe. Yeah, I don't know. So, so next week we got the women's title match. The last woman standing women's championship match. And then the week after we got a men's title match. And tonight we had Aleister Black versus Cassius Ohno, which was terrific.
Oh, I did you see that?
Yeah, it's just a hard-hitting match. You know, it started real slow too. Like they were working like technically like against each other, like feeling each other out, and they just started ratcheting it up, just building it little by little.
Who won over though?
What?
Who won?
Aleister Black. Yeah,
See, that's why like what are they doing with
push?
What are they doing with Cassius Ohno?
God, like he could be. If you're not gonna like push him to the title in NXT,
put him on the main roster.
Put him up in SmackDown right now. Like fuck, shit.
Right.
Fucking, I'd rather have him than Baron Corbin in this spot. You know. Fucking.
Oh my God, we have not talked about bootleg merch as Mr. Money.
As Mr. Money in the Bank. I'll tell you what. You weren't watching, so during the main event of SmackDown was a Jinder Mahal versus Luke Harper match. Mm-hmm. And like halfway through, after like Harper had been putting the boots to Jinder a little bit, Baron Corbin's music hit. And he walked down to the ring with the briefcase. And literally all he did was walk all the way around the ring and then just walk back out. He didn't stop at all. He just kept walking. Like he didn't even like look like he was gonna fake cash in. He just like literally never broke stride. And I was just like, when I realized that he was just not going to stop, I was like, that is so dumb. Why are you not just standing there at least to like annoy the fuck out of him? Like
maybe they sent him out there too late.
I don't know. It looked really stupid.
Or do you think like he just didn't take it upon himself to like add some suspense?
Maybe, I don't know. It was
still green.
It's still green as shit. It's true. It's maybe he just didn't realize he should like stop for a sec or like look at the referee or talk to.
I think that's like one of his things that he doesn't really.
That's interesting.
He doesn't really nail the little things.
That's interesting because Carmela on Sunday when she teased her cash in, Carmela teased the cash in during the women's championship match on Sunday. And she came down and was about to like give it to the timekeeper and then was like, like kind of like tilted her head like, nah. And then they just sort of like hung around. They were just like, you know?
Yeah.
Just sort of like hung around and watched the match. Oh, hello. Hi. But yeah, Corbin just walked in and out and it was just like, that's odd. That's very, very weird.
Because, like, I think that's stupid to even send him out there because there's a heel champion right now.
Right?
And he's a heel, and unless you're planning on turning Baron Corbin's face,
Yeah.
unless you
Right?
plan on doing that, like, what is the point of teasing him cashing in on Jinder Mahal? Like, cash-ins get cheered anyway,
Yeah.
but the next week, people usually like come to their senses and they're like, "Oh shit, motherfucker cashed in on the face. Let's boo him."
Yeah.
But yeah, I don't know about that one. I still say Kevin Owens should have got it.
Oh boy, Kevin Owens is really good too. Last night, like he did say like he was the face of America, but he kind of, I don't know, it felt like to me like he was a little bit fresher. I don't know, like just the way he played off of both styles when he was like, "You are not from Dayton. I said a local from Dayton. Like, what are you doing here? Blah blah blah." And then like his just pure exasperation when Gable came out, and he's just like, "I know you're not from Dayton either. What the fuck are you? Get out of here with this shit."
He was trying to beat up some little scrawny person.
Yeah, he was trying to find some. And Rev pointed out in the Daily today that Chris Hero is actually from Dayton, Ohio. So Rev was saying he was almost working himself into a shoot a little bit, like
it was right there too, wasn't it?
Yeah, but no.
Yeah, it's obvious that Chris Hero was signed to stop whatever Chris Hero was doing on the Indies.
Yeah, right. Seriously, stop having these fucking classic work rate matches. These 4-star matches. These 3 4-star matches in a weekend, like for 8 months straight.
That's why like people give Cody Rhodes shit, but good for him for not accepting that Stardust was going to be the rest of his fucking career.
Yeah.
And now he's building up himself a nice little career on the Indies, making a bigger name for himself, making more money. And good for Kenny Omega for not coming and doing his thing. Good for all of those guys. Like, I could see, like, this is my whole thing about people who are like, it's about artistic. If you want that, the Indies really, there's enough money out there and exposure out there, you can really live a nice, good life. That's why AJ Styles, he doesn't complain. He comes in, he does what's asked of him, because he knows this is the show where you make money.
Yeah.
So if you are not in WWE to make as much money as you can, I don't know what the fuck you're doing there. Unless you're a woman, because like I don't know. I think it might in NXT. You might be better off in NXT for a woman than anywhere else.
I think the only woman who's making like a decent amount of money, I guess Bayley's probably doing all right in merch sales, but Sasha is selling merch like crazy right now. Like
Bella Twins.
But they have like spin-off TV shows and shit. Like they're,
That's true.
But like as a wrestler, I feel like Sasha's the one that's only actually making any banks.
But
just added the S. Sorry, that was dumb.
It's more than they're making. It's more than they would be making on the independents, isn't it?
Oh yeah.
It's not, see, that's what I'm saying.
Yeah.
Like for a guy, especially if you're not like, if you feel like a lot of those cruiserweight guys that are just stuck in WWE, if they're not doing nothing with me, and I can seriously like calculate, I'll be making the same amount of money for wrestling less, or more money for wrestling less, I would go ask for my release. Like, it's all about money, taking care of yourself and your family. Like, I get it's your childhood dream. Everybody wants to be Hulk Hogan or Randy Savage, but everybody's not going to be. So you're like, would you? And like, Michael Hayes kind of did make a point. Like, some people, like, it's just a job. But like, it can just be a job on the Indies.
Yeah.
Like, you should be there to like want to get the biggest spots you can and make the most fucking money you can. Pretty much. Like if it's just a job and you're just clocking in, that's you're not really having any ambition to do anything bigger. So I don't know. I definitely wouldn't just be like, yeah, WWE is gonna pay me the most. I would figure out if I'm not happy creatively, I'm gonna try to figure out, could I make more money working like the template has already been set. AJ Styles did it, and he wasn't even a former WWE name when he did it. Of course, he happens to be one of the best wrestlers in the world, but you know, Cody Rhodes has his name for him, so
right, yeah.
Find out what works for you. Kenny Omega has never been a WWE superstar. He's getting press all over the world, you know. So there are other options, is all I'm saying. So I would hope. A lot of people gave CM Punk that crap, but like I feel you. If you're not feeling that shit, why stay? What are you staying for?
Yeah.
So.
Yeah, especially like if you're a guy like CM Punk, who was like his thing was, I want to main event WrestleMania. When that became clear, it's just like that wasn't happening. It was just like, fuck. Why am I here then? You know? Yeah, I don't know.
But please come back, CM Punk. I bet you could main event as a part-time.
As a part-timer, as a returning guy? Yeah, maybe. I don't know.
And people, and that's not what CM Punk was against. He was against being a full-time wrestler, working 300 shows a year, and having these part-timers come in and beat him and leave. And I don't think CM Punk would have a problem in the main event losing, because he would be in the main event. That's all he wanted. Like with Cena and The Rock too, he was like, making an elimination match and have me eliminated 5 minutes in. Just have me in the main event, please.
Right? Yeah.
So, yeah. It's so sad that really, as smarks, a lot of us are sitting around waiting on Vince McMahon to die. It's sad. Woo-hoo. But that's what we're doing. We're not saying it all the time. But we're just counting the days to when that motherfucker is dead. You have anything else to add to the show?
Well, what are you freaking out about? Cat's losing his shit. I did have before I give the sign off, I did have one thing I wanted to do a little bit. It's kind of something we've been talking about all night. So hold on a sec.
Oh, jeez. Oh.
All right, everybody. I hope you enjoyed that. Well, shit. Why am I talking into nothing now? I hope you all enjoyed that nice little... That was the transition between those two was not very smooth. I need to improve that on the next go-round. But y'all can think happy thoughts and go hug yourselves.
Bye.